Be quiet, play. Alright, The Quiet Place is directed and starring Dr. Dempsey as well as his wife, real life wife, Lily's life. And this is probably one of the most unique movie experiences I've had this year. Because everything that's been done in horror movies has already been done. And I'm telling you that there's a kitchen sink of ideas that have already been used. And I honestly think that The Quiet Place, Quiet Place, is probably one of the better horror movies I've seen in years, even though there's some similarities, and I'll get to that a little bit before. Okay, I want to talk about The Quiet Place. Okay, this movie takes place after a supposed alien attack, and they don't. Doesn't earlier on they don't really let you know if it's an alien attack, but you kind of have to figure it out for yourself. Sequel. So a family is just trying to survive an alien attack, and a lot of people have died up to this point. There's some headlines, and you kind of, those of them that have seen it on DVD. I mean, that have seen it on demand and other forms of media know that there is a little bit of explanation, but it happens so quickly you can't really you kind of you're probably gonna have to pause it to find out. And basically, this movie, everybody has to be very quiet because there is some strange alien creatures earlier on, and I didn't figure out till like almost to the end of the film that they're very sensitive to noises. And the reason they don't eat people, they don't kill people because they don't like people. They kill people because of they're very sensitive to certain sounds. So everybody, the government kind of says earlier on in the movie, they're kind of on their own. And this is probably one of the, it kind of reminds you a little, it's not the same film as The Revenant because in The Revenant we had a film where there wasn't a whole lot of dialogue, but there's probably more, maybe 15 minutes more of dialogue on The Revenant that there is on this movie. And it really works. I really think it worked really well. Emily Blunt and John Krasinski being a real life couple as well as a screenwriter, producer, and director, he did this film justice, and he kind of did his homework with being a guy who's never really into horror movies, as I just found out in an interview. So basically, there are moments in this film where there is absolutely no sounds, no ambience, no atmospheric sounds, nothing, not even a theme or a score from the film. There is a couple stuff like when they're at the table and they're praying, but there's absolutely most of the film is spent with they sign language. So they hired a young girl. The child actors on this movie, they really went all out with the child actors. The child actors on this movie are really good, especially the little girl that is the deaf girl. She's very good, and she's so good that she made me. I think she's kind of responsible for her little brother dying in the very beginning of the film, and it's kind of a shock. It kind of happens so quickly. You don't really take it in that it just happens so quickly. Usually people don't get killed. They're collateral damage, like they were saying. They don't want to just make a movie where people are just getting killed one after the other, and they're just kind of just people that you see on the street getting killed. No, this movie is more about a family just trying to survive, and they realize this is probably going to be for the rest of their lives, and they have to learn how to examine their surroundings. They have to go. So like there are very good key points in this film where the creatures do not know, cannot hear if there's more than one sound. If there's a certain sound, like a waterfall or another different point in the film where there's a different sound echoing, it's able to camouflage the cast of the film. So this is a really good film. It's probably one of the it's this is a thinking man. So it's kind of like Annihilation. I saw this year with Natalie Portman, but it's a completely different film. But it's just this is a very this film really delves into fear because there's a really good scene. One of my favorite scenes is when Emily Blunt is having the baby, and okay, you got a little infant, it's gonna cry, right? She's going into labor. Water breaks, and that bathtub scene is really good because there's a creature coming up the stairs, and any minute it's just gonna come in there and just shred her and the baby together. So, and this is a real this okay. I couldn't exactly find too many negatives on this film. The only thing I thought was kind of a negative. There's really no negatives on this film. Is the design of the creature. The design of the creature is very reminiscent of Alien. You know, sorry about that, man. I just want it's okay. That it's very reminiscent of Alien. So that's the only negative. It's very interesting to find out that they use the aliens have ears, but their ears, their heads kind of expand into different. They open up and expand. It's kind of like a seashell. And when they were thinking of the design of the creatures, they were obviously thinking of aliens, but they also thought about how do the creatures are able to listen and why does it bother them so much of a certain sound. Okay, so and there's also a really good scene where you see the nail and Emily Blunt's coming down the stairs, and then she steps on the nail, and it's and in a moment like that, that's gonna hurt really bad, and you're how are you not gonna scream out when that happens? So okay, so really the climax of the film is really it kind of left. Oh, this is another. Yeah, okay. There's another negative. The climax of the film, but it kind of makes me think there's gonna a sequel. That okay, so John Krasinski dies. The father dies because he doesn't blame. He never blamed his little girl for her being the one responsible for their youngest from dying. And the opening part of the film, but he kind of tells her lesser known sign language that that he never blamed her for that. And that's a very there's some very tender moments, some very good character moments. There's very good character motivation here because they're just trying to survive, just trying to get through this. This is something that's probably going to end up being for the rest of their lives. So he's trying to show his kids how to fend for themselves and possibly protect their mother. And what that's what ends up happening. And they find out that there's a her hearing aid, the girl's hearing aid is actually very causes the creatures to it's such a irritating. It's kind of like when you put a device for the animals are sensitive, and I thought that was really innovative. It was something that I really liked. And okay, overall, so I'm gonna give this movie an A because it could have been it's almost a perfect film, and there is some jump scares. It kind of made me not jump actually, but kind of my heart beat a little bit. But this movie, to me, this movie's not really scary. I wasn't afraid about it or anything like that. I just think really that I would definitely see this movie again. And I think The Quiet Place is a good time, and I give it an A because for a directorial debut in horror films, John Krasinski really thought about it, and I kind of noticed a little bit of the movie Signs in it also. You guys remember the movie Signs? So okay, all right. If you like this video, subscribe to this blog, support this blog, comment on this video. I think there's going to be a sequel. What do you think? Okay, you think there's going to be a sequel? Are we gonna? Because we didn't get to find out the actual origin of the alien creatures, because they're alien creatures, obviously, or they could be like a Pacific Rim from a different dimension or whatnot. But we still don't know. So I think there's going to be a sequel. I honestly think that's what's going to happen. All right. So on the comments below, let me know what you think. All right, you guys. I'll see you guys real soon. Bye.